Monday Night Madness, baby. Monday Night Madness. Let's go. What's good, everybody? How's it going out there on this beautiful Monday night? I'm feeling really good. This is Andre the Torch Robinson with my bros in the house. You know, Rise Up Family's own. I got my guy from Las Vegas, the sports entertainment capital of the world, giving you the sports angle. My guy, Rocco Raquelli. What's up?
Nothing much. Just good game to talk about sports. Monday Night Madness for a bit, and then hop on bottom of the hour for the sports angle. You know it.
Absolutely. Got my guy, the most consistent one over here from Texas. He's a champion in his own right. Always consistent, always here, give you sports talk. Dalton D-Man Smith. What up, Dalton?
What's up, everyone? How's everybody doing tonight?
It's a wonderful night to talk some sports. First and foremost, we want to get into some of the headlines we'll be talking about today. Obviously, you heard the news on Aaron Rodgers. We will talk about that later on in the show. We got some MLB talk, some NHL talk. We got NFL talk and NBA talk as well. Phenomenal show coming up. All right. Make sure you're tuned in to YouTube, if you're tuned into Facebook, if you're tuned in to Anchor, Spotify, all those social media platforms, make sure you support Monday Night Madness. We are back. I'm going to kick off the show with my guy, the sports angle guy, as he gives you the NHL and MLB recap.
Absolutely. The NHL, it was a big week in the National Hockey League. You had the Seattle Kraken. They announced their entire team, picked one selection from every single NHL team except the Vegas Golden Knights, who were exempt. The Seattle Kraken, I'm not going to go in every single name, but I will point out the notables. They selected Will Borgen, a really young, talented defenseman from the Buffalo Sabres. He will be a top 6 defenseman for the Seattle Kraken. There's no doubt in my mind he will be a good player in Seattle. You also had players that were really given second chances in this draft. For example, the Arizona Coyotes and Taylor Pitlick, who they immediately traded to the Calgary Flames for a third-round pick. You also had players coming over from the Carolina Hurricanes like Morgan Geekie, Hayden Fleury from the Anaheim Ducks, who had experience with Ron Francis, the current general manager of the Seattle Kraken. And then lastly, there was a big story that came out of the Seattle Kraken. Mark Giordano will be probably the first captain in Seattle Kraken history. You really can't blame him. Multi-time Norris Trophy winner. Yes, he is on the back end of his career, but to have someone with that experience in the playoffs, to that experience on defense, to be a guy who was in his prime, one of the best defensemen. So congratulations to Seattle. They picked their roster. And also in the NHL draft, Buffalo Sabres, they made 2 big moves on draft night. They were the first selection. They selected Owen Power. And I will say this, Owen Power is going to be a good player at the next level. I've watched him play. I've seen his film. He is good. I just hope that Buffalo doesn't ruin him like they've ruined a lot of other talent that had potential in the NHL. but I had to put that in there, Andre, because you know it's true. And the second biggest news that came out of the Buffalo Sabres is on draft night. Adams, he was busy. Rasmus Ristolainen, bye-bye. Sam Reinhart, see you later. And we've heard about Jack Eichel and potentially the New York Rangers. I mean, it would be interesting to see Jack Eichel in Madison Square Garden in the biggest market in the United States and one of the most profitable franchises in the NHL. So Jack Eichel, we're going to hear more about that in the upcoming days. That is our NHL report here on Monday Night Madness. And then over to baseball, MLB trade deadline. I want to point this out. Trevor Story, that sources have said he might be on the move to the New York Yankees. One of the best shortstops in all of baseball, might be going over to the Bronx. We've also heard about the big trade that happened in San Diego. Adam Frazier, all-star second baseman, being traded from Pittsburgh, and he gets saved and goes over to San Diego. And you've also heard reports come out and say that the Chicago Cubs are going to be selling at the MLB trade deadline. So, hey, New York Mets, you need Chris Bryant. Attaboy, there you go. Hey, Philadelphia Phillies, you need a reliever. Craig Kimbrell, up you at him. Javi Baez, you might not be in Chicago anymore. Hey, Atlanta Braves, you need somebody in your infield. Now, there you go. Go get them. So I will say Chicago Cubs selling will be sad for me, but for a baseball fan, will be interesting to see what happens with the Cubs organization. And I will still be confident and say Chicago White Sox, Milwaukee Brewers, 2021 World Series. That is the Sports Angles prediction for the World Series. Now we're going to pass it back to Andre.
Thank you, Rocco Kelly, for that beautiful, beautiful recap on the NHL and the MLB. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in. Marcus Betts, what's up? Dwayne Whitley, what's good? What's good, fam? John Suggs. Before we get into NFL talk, we got some comments here we need to address first and foremost. Monday Night Madness is for the viewer, obviously for you. So we want to make sure that we read every comment, every call. By the way, we get every call and hear what you got to say. So let's start off with John Suggs, who says, thoughts on Texas and Oklahoma moving to SEC after 2025? Could you see the ACC picking up new schools in a few years like Liberty, Coastal Carolina, even at East Carolina? Rocco, I'm going to let you get thoughts on that first, actually.
Well, with Texas and Oklahoma, if they do move to the SEC, it's going to create super conferences. You're going to see 16 teams in the ACC, 16 teams in the Big Ten, 16 teams in the SEC. Pac-12, they'll probably do 14 because they've always been a bit short as opposed to the rest of their counterparts. So understand, this is not good for college football. Losing one of the Power 5 conferences is going to leave a gap. It's going to leave a hole. Now, here's what I would recommend. Is the American Conference, a.k.a. the remnants of the Big East Conference. Does anybody remember that the Big East Conference at one time was a well-respected conference in college football? The American Conference is a good conference, and I feel like people laugh at the American Conference for not being a Power 5. Well, how about we fix that? The American Conference does not have any allegiance or any bounds to geography. It can pick up anybody anywhere. So if you're going to create these super conferences, the American already has 12. How about you add 4? And here's what I'm going to recommend. Baylor, TCU, Texas Tech, and Oklahoma State. You add them to the American with UCF, with Cincinnati, with Houston, with SMU, that would be a super conference. That would replace the Big 12 as a Power 5 conference. So, as much as it would pain me to lose the Big 12, having the American replace them as a gap and as a hole that would need to be filled in the Power 5 conference would make it better as a result. The second part of your question about the ACC, well, we all know Notre Dame would have to get picked up. It's an obvious no-brainer. Notre Dame, they already play in the ACC in college basketball. They play in the ACC in different sports that's not football related. So Notre Dame would be added, and Liberty would most likely be added because of what they've done in the 4 years. They went from being a Division I FCS to being a Division I FBS. So, John, I partially agree with you. Liberty would be one of them. Coastal Carolina doesn't have enough appeal. East Carolina, they don't win enough. Liberty would be a good solution alongside Notre Dame to create 16 teams in the ACC, and the SEC would be 16 with the addition of Texas and Oklahoma. Andre, back to you.
All right, we got a caller on the line from New Jersey. Caller, what's going on?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. What would you like to talk about on Monday Night Madness?
That's right. Liberty going to the ACC, I didn't see that coming. That's such a small school. I mean, I don't see how they're going to be able to compete with that kind of a division. A conference, rather. I mean, it's the same thing with Rutgers when they went to the Big Ten. And how that worked out? Awful. So I don't know if that's going to be such a smart move. I mean, I know they're looking to go into, trying to expand the Power 5 conferences and whatnot, but that kind of worries me. I mean, Liberty isn't really known for, it's big players and dramatic moments and whatnot. I mean, this could be a problem.
Interesting. Caller, state your name for everybody.
Yes, Lou from New Jersey. I've heard about this show. I've been trying to get on the past couple of weeks, but haven't had time getting here.
It's all good. You're here now. You're here now with Monday Night Madness. Obviously, every Monday you can watch us here. We got Buck Flair, who is trying to get into from where he is. Come on, man. Listen, you're about as bad as missing sex, sir. It's about as bad as missing sex, sir. We can't hear you. But nevertheless, the caller on the line stated something very interesting. Rocco Raquelli stated something very interesting. I'm going to ask Dalton myself before we get into the next question here on Monday Night Madness. Dalton, how do you feel about teams moving conferences in college football?
Honestly, I think that's more shocking because since the Longhorns and Oklahoma is going to move to SEC, they're going to have faced with Alabama, LSU, the tough competitors on a college team. I think it's really shocked, though. To be honest with you.
Shocked? You're shocked. Okay. Here's what I got to say about it. I totally agree with the caller. I totally agree with Sports Angle. Rocco's right on point with it. It's gonna create some issues. You're gonna have some competition issues, super conferences, and then other conferences will be left out. I thought we just had got somewhat of, some continuity as far as how we were gonna base these playoff games and such, especially with the playoffs. College playoffs being the way they are now, it's going to be a little different. It's going to be harder to grade that now. It's going to be harder to, pick that out. Oklahoma and Texas going to the SEC. Oklahoma is probably the powerhouse in the Big 12. Definitely a major powerhouse. So how do you compute that with the rest of the SEC? How do you put Oklahoma in any conversation when they're with LSU's, the Alabamas, the Floridas, that's gonna be something that NCAA is gonna have to figure out, and that's not gonna be very easy to figure out either. I mean, are we doing 8 teams? Coming up now, do you push it to 8 teams? I mean, the SEC has won the title how many times? The national championship how many times? Are we going to have 4 SEC teams in the national championship? I mean, in the playoffs? I mean, this is something that the NCAA is going to have to figure out, and they're going to have to figure it out quick if they're going to be doing all these moves. Dwayne Woodley asked a good question. He said, what did y'all think about these college athletes possibly becoming potential millionaires coming out of college? You know what? Go ahead, Rocco. I'm going to let you. Yeah, I seen the little shake of the head, so that means you had something to say for sure. Go ahead.
It's funny because I wrote a paper about why college athletes should get paid for college. I was taking a college class. It was a communications class, and they tasked me to write about anything. I wrote about why college athletes should get paid, and it answered Dwayne's question. I love the fact that instead of college athletes getting paid under the table thanks to bagmen, one of the worst unkept secrets in all of college athletics, yes, guys, college athletes have been getting paid for a while. It's just been under the table. The fact that these college athletes can now openly get paid, the fact that they can walk around and they can get paid, and NCAA cannot touch them, the NCAA cannot touch the teams, cannot touch the programs. I love the decision. More importantly, I want to know this, and I've said this on a show before, but I'll say it again. It's screw National Signing Day. I want to know how much they're getting paid on National Signing Day. I want to know what the number one recruit, how much that paycheck was for him to go to a certain school. So, yeah, I don't want to know where they go, where they went to. I want to know how much they got to go there. So that's what I want to know.
That's actually a really good question. That's a really good question. Like, are they all going to get paid the same? It doesn't matter if you go to Penn State or if you go to Alabama or if you go to UCLA. Do you get paid more if you go to the Pac-12? Do you get paid more if you go to the SEC? That's a great question. See, there you go, the sports angle. Go ahead, caller.
I mean, I think the bigger the more the bigger what conference. Because I think some do pay out more than others, and the Pac-12, is I think that's the top conference. So I think they probably get paid the most.
So repeat that again, caller. You said the
it's right. It's conference. I think about the choice conference. The ACC.
Okay, interesting
I
thought.
could be wrong, but that's what I look at.
Hey, Jay Jones.
I was thinking about this. I read what John Suggs just said. I have a solution to both of his questions, if you want me to say it.
Go ahead.
So he was talking about why nobody would want to go to a smaller school, why nobody would want to go to a Boise State. In other words, the non-Power 5 schools. Here's a solution to it. They can promise you a starting job right out of freshman year. A smaller school could promise a 3-star recruit, a 4-star recruit, a starting job on day one. You could be the man on campus. You could be the person that everybody talks about instead of being the 5th-string quarterback at Alabama, but you're getting paid more. Instead of being the 4th-string running back at LSU, you could be the starting running back for a school like Temple, for example. You know what I mean? That would be the solution, is that these smaller schools could promise these 17-year-olds a job to start on day one. And secondly, some states you don't have to pay income tax. I know. I'm in one of those states, Nevada. Hi. And you actually bring up a good point. There are certain states that you do not have to pay income tax. Washington, Florida, Texas, Nevada. There's a couple of them that don't pay income tax. Well, guess what? They're going to use that to their advantage on National Signing Day. They're going to use that to their advantage when they're recruiting. I mean, who says they haven't already done that? I mean, ask you this. Why do you think so many students go to Texas and go to Florida? Why do you think some people on the West Coast go to Washington and Washington State? I think it's because no state income tax would probably be appealing to them as well, especially if they were getting paid under the table back in the day.
Interesting thoughts. All right. I want to shout out Jay Jones right now. Shout out to you. Nandi, Civilian, shout out to you. Dwayne, thank you very much for the comments in the comment section. Good sports discussions. Absolutely. This is because of you. Monday Night Madness is for the viewer. Again, we got Dalton D-Man Smith in the house. What's good? Listen, we got to get to the meat and potatoes of the show. Let's get right to it. Obviously, Rocco Raquelli is hilarious. You know what? That was perfect timing. Perfect timing for Rocco Raquelli to do that because he knows what's coming up. He obviously knows that we are about to talk about somebody coming back into the NFC North picture again. I just want to know, where are you guys, all these guys, where y'all at that was saying Aaron Rodgers was leaving? I just want to know where y'all at now. Y'all still got that same energy?
I'm here.
I just want to know. Y'all still got that same energy? So, as we know, news has kicked off, has swirled in the last couple of hours today, especially that Aaron Rodgers will be at training camp and will be a Green Bay Packer quarterback this year. They are working on finalizing a deal that would allow Aaron Rodgers to play this season. And if he's still not happy next season, they will trade him, let him walk. What is your thoughts? I'm going to ask the caller because the caller's on the line. Rocco's yawning. So obviously, he, being a Chicago Bears fan, he wants no smoke with this situation that's going on. So we'll go to the caller. Caller.
I hate to tell everybody I told you so, but I told you so. He wasn't going to retire. This is all just a stunt. He got angry at the management of Green Bay.
Rocco, go ahead and let us know what's up with this whole debacle, how you feel. Or let's go to Dalton D-Man Smith. Dalton, how you feel, brother?
Well, I was kind of surprised, though. I mean, I thought he was going to leave, though, but good deal for the Packers. But at least we didn't see no Brett Favre 2.0 because I thought he was going to get traded. I mean, they still got to work on Devontae Adams. But the question is, Trey, do you think the Packers will get Randall Cobb? Because, I heard they want Randall Cobb back.
Yes, I do. I think they will get Randall Cobb back. I think they will. I think Houston's doing nothing with him anyway. Give him back. Send him back home where he belongs. I think we got Buck Flair now in the building. Buck, are we here? Are we finally here, Buck? Did we get it? Yeah, we got it going. There he is.
I still can't hear him.
Oh, no, he's not. You still can't hear Buck. Buck's mouth is moving, y'all. I tell you, don't he look like a character from Bobby's World right now? He just moving his mouth.
Which one?
Buck Flair, my guy, Chuck Thomas.
Which Bobby's World character?
The main one.
Bobby, okay.
So, Ian Raquelli, Rocco, Sports Angle. Come on, man. Don't duck the conversation. I need to know, sir. How do you feel? How does it feel?
My response is, I mean, Aaron Rodgers is back. It's the same story, same song and dance. So,
right. Right.
I will say that bringing back Randall Cobb a decade later would kind of be not the best move. I mean, I will say about Randall Cobb, the last 2 seasons, he's kind of fallen off a cliff. So, I don't know. Like, the sequel is not normally the same as the original. The remake is not normally the same as the original or the reboot or whatever, media called it now. So.
We hear you. This is what I'm going to say about it. You know what? As much as I play around with Rocco Raquelli, as much as I'm giving him a little bit of flack, I need to keep it real. I'm going to be very honest. I rep this team for a reason, have repped this team for a long time, have took a lot of flack for repping this team. But there comes a time where you have to put up or shut up. And this is the time for me to tell Aaron Rodgers to put up or shut up. And people know I like Aaron Rodgers. But I'm going to be very honest. Aaron Rodgers, the petty antics, the crybaby stuff, the way you're getting viewed in the media, you got to just go out there and play football, man. You got to go play football. The diva stuff, the small talk stuff, man. It's time to let that go. It's time to play. and play like you know how you can play. I want Aaron Rodgers to shut everybody up. I want him to shut them up, get over the hump, win a championship. He should have more than one championship. Yes, we understand that the organization hasn't done what they're supposed to. Yes, we understand he's been in some situations that just haven't been very favorable. Whatever. But you have to overcome. You have to get over the hump. Tom Brady has gotten over the hump 7 times. To me, I think talent-wise, Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback than Tom Brady. For that reason, you have to get over the hump, Aaron. No more, they didn't give me enough weapons, or no more this, that, and the third. I need you to get over the hump. Just do it. Maybe you should be on a Nike commercial and not a State Farm commercial. Just do it. Get over the hump, man. Get over it. Green Bay organization, this is what I have to say to you. Get it together. Get it together now. All right? Because this last season or these last couple of seasons, whether Aaron stays next season if he's happy or not, is your last few seasons before you got to rebuild. Before your rebuild comes. You need to get it together and make it happen. And Rocco's looking like that, but here's why I say rebuild, Rocco. Davante Adams, obviously, the talks have kind of been a ride because Aaron Rodgers not playing. Then here comes Za'Darius. Then here comes Robert Tyan. These guys all respect Aaron. And I tell you, if Aaron probably wasn't playing, these guys probably wouldn't be playing on the Packers team either.
So let me ask this question. When was the last time the Packers rebuilt? 1854?
Yeah, 1854. So their time is coming.
1754.
Yes, 1754.
But the Packers don't really rebuild. I mean, it's kind of similar to the Montreal Canadiens in the NHL. Let me stay with this. Montreal Canadiens really don't rebuild. They just kind of retool the system. They don't really rebuild and go tank for a couple of years. No, they swap out parts every couple of years. That's really what the Packers have been for majority of my lifetime. I know for majority of your lifetime, the Packers have been that way. They don't really rebuild. They don't really suck for a long period of time. They'll have 1 or 2 bad years, and then they'll bounce right back up. So I will say with Green Bay, they're just like with Montreal. They're similar to New York Yankees in baseball. They're similar to the LA Lakers in basketball. Yeah, they'll be bad for like maybe a couple of years, but they've never really done a full rebuild.
It's good to have my guy Marcus the Alphabets just coming on to the show. Shout out to you. What's going on, Marcus?
What's going on, family? How y'all doing this evening? I hope everyone's having a great evening. A lot of stuff going on in the world of sports, no doubt.
Absolutely.
What's going on, Rock? Got Rock over there in the red in the sports betting capital of the world, the entertainment capital of the world. Got my man Dalton Smith up in the house, the consistent one. What's going on, guys?
Not much. Just watch your
It's going good, man. Just talking football.
Real quick before we get into our next question, obviously we have here John Suggs asked a really good question. Caller is on the line from New Jersey. Shout out to him. Thank you for being here with us. Marcus, what's your quick synopsis on this Aaron Rodgers situation with Green Bay, and then we'll move on to the question.
We were talking about it earlier today. I was talking about it with some people. The bottom line is NFL players, they see the freedoms that NBA players have, and I think a lot of NFL players, they want that same type of freedom. They want to be able to dictate where they go. They want to have say in personnel decisions, whatever people may believe, whatever their, stance may be on that. But you see a lot of players in other sports having more freedom. Baseball, basketball, you see the way, LeBron moves around, KD, Harden, Westbrook. They want to have those type of freedom to be able to move and makes, have some say in their future, have some say where they go, have some say in who they get to play with. So I think that's really what it is. Aaron Rodgers felt disrespected by the Packers organization. Number one, by them drafting Jordan Love. and not and getting rid of some of the players that he was accustomed to playing with. Aaron Rodgers is judged off going forward. He's judged off of championships. That's it. He's judged off a championship. Joe Flacco has a championship. Only Drew Brees played 20 years and had one championship. Drew Brees played 1 year and had one championship. He's judged along those lines of the Mannings, who had two championships apiece. Because one championship, okay. That's good. But when you're talking about being one of the greatest quarterbacks ever, you got to have more than one championship. He's gone to the NFC Championship 2 years in a row, and that's how he's judged. LeBron James, that's why he moved. He's judged. Some players are, he's great. You don't want to be the Karl Malone. You don't want to be the Warren, Karl Malone in basketball. You don't want to be the Reggie Miller in basketball. You don't want to be those guys, the Charles Barkley in football. You don't want to be the Warren Moon. You don't want to be the Dan Marino. A great player, because in the end, that's what you're judged by. That is what you're judged by. How many championships do you have? For all of Dan Marino's greatness, there are quarterbacks that are put over him because he doesn't have a championship. You got Trent Dilfer with a championship and one of the greatest quarterbacks ever, and Dan Marino, who does not have a championship. They don't like that. No one wants to. Players like that do not want to retire without a championship, and that's what it's all about. Or retiring with one championship.
Hey, I want to mention something because Marcus did mention I'm in the betting capital of the world. Has anybody noticed how far the Packers have dropped this offseason? Well, I'll tell you. The Packers were originally the third highest odds-on favorite to win the championship. Now they are the 14th highest odds-on favorite to win the championship at 28-1.
Well,
28-1, Andre.
I think a lot of that is just a lot of that I believe was the uncertainty of Aaron Rodgers. I believe in the next couple of weeks, especially after today, those odds will go back up because Aaron Rodgers is that dude. And basically the Packers are getting to lease him for 1 year because if he doesn't like the moves that they make, if he doesn't like the things that they do, he's out. That's what it is. And they can't franchise tag them. They can't do anything like that. So in my opinion, Aaron Rodgers won because they got 1 year. They got the rest of this offseason. They got free agency to make some moves to get them over the top. We know that they're good enough to get to the NFC Championship. But once again, Aaron Rodgers is not judged off of MVPs. He's not judged off of how many yards he throws for. He's not judged off of how many yards he throws for. He is judged off of championships going forward. So I think those odds will go back up in the next couple of weeks or so.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Enough of Aaron Rodgers. We've talked Aaron Rodgers enough. Aaron Rodgers has been getting talked about for like a month and a half, 2 months, 3 months, probably 4 or 5 months, the off season pretty much in a nutshell. But really the last month and a half, he's been talked about like almost every day. So I want to get to this.
I think that's because of the uncertainty that there was. We got clarity today. So, it's good to know. He said, I'll be there. And that's, we finally have some closure. We probably won't see him much. We probably won't see him much in the preseason. So, it's just nice. It's nice to know when you have certainty. So, that's pretty nice.
Understandable. We'll start with Dalton D-Man Smith on this one. We're going to talk about Deshaun Watson. By the way, Dwayne Woodley said it's a relief for us Chiefs fan. We would have been scared if he would have became a Denver Bronco. So if he would have been a Bronco, he said as a Chiefs fan, he kind of would have been shook. Dalton, we're going to start with you on this one. John Suggs said, do you really believe Houston will trade their star quarterback? He does have a huge contract.
It's
me.
Dalton.
I think they will, but he wants out in Texas. But when you heard the news, like they were looking for the trade though, so But the question is, can they find a partner trade though? But that's a big question right there.
All right. We'll go to Sports Angle. Sports Angle, and then caller, and then we'll go to the Alpha.
Wait, when did $10.5 million for 2021 become a huge contract?
Who are we talking about?
Well, I think they're talking about the whole contract. Deshaun Watson.
I know Deshaun Watson, that contract doesn't kick in until 2022. So this actually would be perfect for the Texans because they only have one more year of his rookie contract. But anyway, besides that, so do I believe Houston will trade their star quarterback? No. Do I believe that he will want to get traded? Yes. All right, Deshaun Watson will want to get traded. With all the bull crap and with all the allegations against him, has anybody noticed that whenever anything positive happens with Deshaun Watson, bam, more allegations. Bam, more allegations. It's like someone in Houston has a vendetta against Deshaun Watson, and they want to make him suffer. So I will say that I won't be shocked if Deshaun Watson requests a trade, but I don't believe Houston would trade him unless someone offers up 4 first-round picks, like probably one real solid player. If it's a 5-piece move, that's probably what the Houston Texans would take for Deshaun Watson. But, yeah, no, they're not going to trade him unless they get a Herschel Walker-type trade for Deshaun Watson.
All right. Caller, hold on. Marcus, before you go, caller, what's your thoughts on this?
First is the team when they think of trading him. Now it looks like they do want to trade him. And for the right price, they'll send him somewhere else. The question is, where will he end up? I mean, Watson's a good quarterback, but where he's going to take him is going to take him. He won't have many much opportunities left, so now will be the time.
All right. Interesting enough. The Alpha, Marcus the Alphabet's the guy who has the Alphabet Football Sports Show on Fridays at 9 p.m. Right here on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify.
10.
Oh, I'm sorry, 10 o'clock. Oops. That's right. 10 o'clock, because baby's gotta be in the bed. Mine's especially. Shout out to Ramona died too. Go ahead, Marcus.
Look, they once again the Houston Texans dropped the ball on this. They should have traded him before the when he still had his biggest value. They should have traded him before the draft. A lot of times after the draft, people are pretty much start to set up their team. He hasn't participated in any OTAs, any type of training. And he just came to training camp yesterday because he was going to start getting fined $50,000 a day. I think the situation is beyond repair. Now, are there going to be a whole bunch of teams out there trying to get him? No, because you got to look at the public. It's a public relations nightmare. I don't believe he plays this year. The situation, 10 more women came forward today. Today, 10 more women came forward. Okay. So, you got 22 women who have made these accusations against him. In America, we do have a justice system where innocent until proven guilty, but we've seen with Roger Goodell, that's not the way he does business. Roger Goodell, you're guilty until proven innocent. I can see Deshaun Watson on the commissioner's exempt list. I think that's where he goes until they find some type of resolution with it. I don't believe he plays this year, but never underestimate the desperation of quarterback starved teams. We have seen when teams are starved of a quarterback, you have some franchises that haven't had good quarterbacks in decades. New York Jets. We see that. I'm trying to be serious.
It's fine,
So,
folks. Anything can happen.
But look, we just saw Matthew Stafford get traded. 32 years old. We just saw Matthew Stafford get traded to the Rams. We just saw that. Matthew Stafford has no playoff wins. 32 years old, 33 years old, no playoff win. We've seen that. So when do you get an opportunity to pursue a 25-year-old franchise quarterback? When do you get to do that? If Josh Allen became available today, how many first round draft picks would a team give up for Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Dak Prescott? How many first round picks? You have an opportunity, a once in a lifetime opportunity to get a 25-year-old superstar franchise quarterback. That doesn't happen very often because guys like that, their teams they lock them up for a long time. Now he has a bunch of, he's got a bunch of stuff. He's got a bunch of legal problems, but I believe there's one or two teams out there. It only takes one. If I would have told you that somebody would have gave up 2 first round picks for Matthew Stafford this past offseason, would you believe me? We've seen
I probably would have.
Matthew Stafford, who hasn't ever won anything, got 2 first round picks.
Yeah, knowing how the NFL works, I believe you. Yeah.
It's because this is a quarterback-driven league. Every year, generally, what is the number 1 pick in the NFL draft? What is it? What position is it?
Quarterback.
It's quarterback. Because teams are always looking for a franchise quarterback. How many years have the Jets been looking for a franchise quarterback? How many years have the Cleveland Browns been looking for a quarterback? They've drafted 5 quarterbacks in the first round in 20 years, starting with Tim Couch, Brady Quinn, Brandon Wheaton, Johnny Manziel, and Baker Mayfield. 5 in 20 years. They just came back into the league in 2000, and they drafted 5 quarterbacks in the first round. So,
by the way, shout out to EP. By the way, shout out to EPW that's watching right now. Hold on, sorry to interrupt, Marcus. Shout out to EPW Everything Pro Wrestling that's watching right now. Sharon said to you, Marcus, she said, I must have missed that. The alphabets, Marcus Betts. 2 first round picks, man. My guy Dwayne is over here, Dwayne, and not the Dwayne from a different world either. I'm talking about Dwayne Woodley over here in the comment section. He said, my humbled opinion is the Houston Texan organization is paying these women to lie. Why didn't all of this come out 3 years ago during the Me Too movement? Ooh.
Okay, but let me answer this. Why would the Houston Texans why would they sabotage him? Because you're diminishing his value. If you're intentionally going out there, you're not okay. First off, you're not going to get 3 first round picks for him. Okay, you're not going to get 3 first round picks. You might have if he wasn't pending these cases. Now there's no way that you're going to get it. You're not going to get it now. So now I believe the Houston Texans will be the worst team in the NFL this year. Okay, so now you're
not close.
Not even close. So they're probably going to be picking a quarterback again. So why would you sabotage this guy and bring down his value when you could just trade him and get you 2 or 3 first round picks? So to me, that's like self-sabotaging. But once again, it is the Houston Texans who had Bill O'Brien, who basically gave away DeAndre Hopkins for some magic beans and gave away Jadeveon Clowney and gave away J.J. Watt. So it is the Texans. So okay.
All right, Rocco, real quick, your thoughts on this Deshaun Watson situation before we move on?
Yeah, before I go, because I have to record the sports angle in 5 minutes, I will say Deshaun Watson, he's not worth 4 first-round picks. because of what has happened over the last couple of weeks. I understand that it's going to be hard for them to get a trio of first-round picks, understanding what they have done to him. So I agree with Alpha. And hey, watch the Sports Angle. We're going to be on in just a bit. We're going to be previewing the NFC North tonight on the Sports Angle, talking Packers, talking Bears, talking Lions, talking Vikings here on the Sports Angle. So don't miss that.
Go see my homegirl. Go see my homegirl too, Miss Die Hard. Go see her. She's gonna spit some good knowledge tonight.
Definitely. Make sure you tune into that. All right, Sports Angle. Every single night. Boy, oh boy, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, make sure you tune into the Sports Angle with Rocco Raquelli. He's in the entertainment capital of the world, Las Vegas. We want to thank him for coming on Monday Night Madness, but we got some things to talk about right here. Marcus, because I had a feeling that you were going to come on the show, I need to get into these comments before we get into some of these topics. Dalton D-Man is in the house. D-Man, what's up? I want to shout out everybody who's tuned in right now to Monday Night Madness. If you're on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, all those social media platforms, I want to thank you for being real and continuously supporting. All right, Monday Night Madness, the Monday Night Madness brand. Sharon Mullen said, I agree with them, Dwayne Whitley. They want to diminish his value. This is what Dwayne said in response to that, because they're desperate, bruh. The Texans are an inept organization.
I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you.
Sharon said, why? Because there's one thing that people like the Houston Texans owners love more than money. And you and I just talked about this yesterday, Marcus Betts. So that's very, very, very good to know. Watson can ball. Texans are slandering this man's name, in my humble opinion. All right. Humbly, I need you guys to like and share the show as we get into some more sports topics. My guy, Dalton D-Man Smith, I need to know from you and Marcus Betts. You see it up here. Did Dez catch it? We'll start off with that, and we're going to be quick. We're going to be quick with these. Got to be real quick with these.
Go ahead, Dalton.
Well, to be honest with you, I could swear I thought the ball hit the ground, but if he caught the ball, I was dead wrong, though. What the whole Dez Bryant situated, if the ref said like it was a catch, though, I mean, they got to score a touchdown, and they would have got to go for two, and they would have stopped the Packers on the final drive anyway, because Packers would get the ball back anyway, but like the Cowboys, like they should have stopped the Packers on the final drive. I mean, it was like 4 minutes in the fourth quarter.
All right. Marcus, did he catch it?
I've argued with people and I'll argue with people to the end of time about this. Yes, Dez Bryant did catch it, but I have one little thing that goes along with it. The Cowboys should not have been in that game because I believe in the football gods. The Cowboys should have been eliminated the week before by the Detroit Lions when they had that phantom call, and they picked up the flag, which I've never seen. And I argue with my Cowboys fans about this all the time. Yes, Dez did catch it, but they shouldn't have been in that game because they should have been eliminated the week before by the Detroit Lions. And that's hard for me to say, but yes, he did catch it.
All right, caller. Caller.
Yeah.
Did Dez Bryant catch it?
Dez Bryant. Oh, boy. He's lost it.
He lost it? He didn't catch it?
He's not going to catch nothing.
Oh, wow. That's hilarious. All right.
He must be an Eagles fan, man.
All right. We're going to.
But, I've seen how he's done it. He's lost a step.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this was in, yes, but that game was in what, 2014? I mean, that was like 7 years ago. I mean, yeah, he's not the same player he is, but on that particular day, in that particular game, he did catch it, and they've even changed the rules because of it. So obviously they felt the same way. So, they changed it because He was a guy trying to make he was trying to make a move and reach out to the end zone. I thought it was pretty fluid, but it's just one of those things that'll be argued to the end of time. It'll be the immaculate reception, the Tom Brady tuck rule. It's just one of those things that people are going to argue about to the end of time.
All right. Next topic right here. Obviously, Sharon said, yeah, Dez caught it. I always felt that way. All right. Next topic. Rings alone do not prove individual success. What's our thoughts on that? And it's a picture of Tom Brady. What's our thoughts on it?
Well, I think this goes back to I use this argument all the time. I believe eras matter. The era that you play in definitely matters. Tom Brady, he is I mean, you can't argue with it. 7 championships. I don't think anybody will ever catch that record. But I believe because of the era that he played in, which he has no control over. Would Tom Brady be playing 22, 23 years if he were playing in the 70s against those steel curtain Steelers team, against those 85 Bears teams? The reason he's able to accumulate all these championships is because of the era he plays in. You can't hit the quarterback. You can't jam the receiver. You can't blast the receiver coming across the middle. You can't. There's a lot of stuff that the game has softened up, which has led to his longevity. And you're going to see a lot of these records that have been standing for a long time. You're going to see them fall because number one, they're going to be playing the extra game. And 2, because of the softness of the game. So I'll just ask you a quick question. Do you believe Trent Dilfer is better than Dan Marino?
No.
Because that's basically the argument. I don't believe that just rings alone is greatness. I believe I mean there's quarterbacks out there. Brad Johnson has a ring, 2002 Bucks. Trent Dilfer, 2000 Ravens. So there, I mean, hell, Terry Bradshaw didn't really have great stats. He played with like 14 or 15 Hall of Famers. So no, I believe you got to catch lightning in a bottle, and it works out for you sometime. But I don't believe rings alone make you great, because we've seen a lot of really good players in all sports not win a ring. I don't think Karl Malone and John Stockton are not great players because they don't have a ring. Just like I don't believe Dan Marino's not a great player because he doesn't have a ring. So no, I don't think that's the only mitigating factor.
Well, I agree with you, Marcus, though. Errors do matter, though, but like you said, like there's no way they're gonna get like 8 rings to break Tom Brady's record, though. But it's gonna be like that way.
I believe where you go to matters too. I mean, Tom Brady, he looked very human his last couple of years in New England. He gets to Tampa Bay. They surround him with a good team, and he's right back on top. So, you still have to have a supporting cast, and especially at the quarterback position, that you got to have people around you. You got to have the receivers. You got to have the running game, and you damn sure got to have the offensive line. We saw that this past Super Bowl with Patrick Mahomes running for damn near 200 yards because his offensive line was in shambles. I don't think that takes away from Patrick Mahomes. I think we'll see him win more championships, but as a quarterback, you're very dependent on everybody around you. You got to have some protection. We saw Tom Brady against that 2007 New York Giants, that undefeated until the last game, that 18-0 Patriots team, and he missed out. He missed out on that. So yeah, that's that. He lost twice to Eli Manning. So no, I don't believe that that's the only factor.
Right, caller, you expressed how you felt about that. Rings does rings alone matter or
No, not at all. Rings alone don't matter. Like your previous caller said, that there've been plenty of great players in all sports who have not won a title. That doesn't mean they're not great. I mean, Marino didn't win a title. Patrick Ewing, I wish he did win a title, but he didn't. Doesn't deny his greatness though. Malone Stockton, and the list goes on and on. Rings alone does not make you a great player. Just like if you don't win a championship, does that mean you're not a great player? No. I mean, you gotta look at individual stats and whatnot. That's what makes you a great player, not by how many rings you win. I mean, it's like they're comparing like the Greek Freak now. I mean, they already calling him a superstar because he won one championship. Well, of course, MVPs too, but I think it's a little bit premature. Maybe if like another 2 or 3 years, if he keeps way up, then be considered a superstar. Right now, not yet. So we really, I think sometimes we blow out a portion, like, on, what's considered greatness and what isn't.
I do believe Giannis is a superstar, and I think because of the market that he played in to win up there, and he was already ascending. He was already ascending, and didn't his team put out the dream team, the super team, Brooklyn Nets? Wasn't the Bucks that put them out, or am I mistaken?
That was Atlanta.
It was Atlanta. Who did and then the Bucks put out?
No. Milwaukee put out the Hawks and the Nets.
Okay. I mean, everybody was ordaining the Nets as a sure bet to win the NBA Finals. To take out KD and Harden and the point guard. God, I can't even think of his name. From Cleveland, LeBron's old homeboy. I believe Giannis is a superstar. Kyrie Irving. I believe Giannis is a superstar. He's an emerging superstar. And I'm going to be honest with you. I believe he's the best player in the world. I mean, that's debatable, but I believe he's the best player in the world. He's 26 years old. I don't think you're going to see him do anything but get better. So I believe easily he won didn't he win the Finals MVP too?
Yeah, he did.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, I don't know what the.
The Nets were basically hurt that series. I mean, again, injuries happen though. I don't think no team is 100% healthy going into a playoff after 72 or 82 games in a season. So I mean, you could say that that's fine and dandy, but at the same token,
okay. But what about the Hawks? What about the Hawks?
The Hawks was young. The Hawks was young. I didn't see them beating Milwaukee, to be honest, even though I wanted them to beat Milwaukee, but I didn't see that happening. But coming back from 0-2 against the Suns. Yeah, coming back from 0-2 against the Suns.
You don't get no credit for that.
No, they do. They get a whole lot of credit. They're the only team to do it twice: Eastern Conference Championship and the NBA Championship. So you got to give them their props. But I want to get back on the topic. We already talked about rings not mattering when it comes down to individual greatness. We want to get into some more real quick, and we want to be quick with these. Obviously, the next one is Joe Flacco. Was he elite?
No, and that goes back to my premise with now I will say this: he had a stretch there in that playoff run. I don't think he threw an interception in that playoff run.
No, he didn't. He threw 11 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
Yeah, so for that little stretch there, but if you have to look at the entirety of his career, no, Joe Flacco was not. And that goes back to, what I was saying about Trent Dilfer, what I was saying about Brad Johnson. We even saw a guy like we've seen average quarterbacks get to the Super Bowl. Now we've seen it, so I don't think that Joe Flacco was. I don't think he was elite. I just think he had a little hot streak there because after that he didn't do anything. Trent Dilfer was traded after they won the Super Bowl. I think that's the only time I ever seen a Super Bowl winning quarterback get traded, and they brought in Elvis Gerback after that. So no, I don't believe.
Dalton D-Man Smith and then the caller. I want to know your thoughts on this.
No, he was not elite though. I mean, yes, I know he did good in the playoffs. So we are gonna say like he had Ray Rice, Anquan Bolden, Jacoby Jones, and instead, and he got good defense. We all know like Ray was his final game of the season, got to the Super Bowl and win it. Ever since he got paid, he fell off the cliff.
Ed Reed, Terrell Suggs. I mean, come on, man. That defense was that, and Ray Lewis. That team was loaded, man. That team was loaded. So hell no, I ain't giving him that.
All right, Dan Worley, what's up? It would have been a different outcome if they weren't injured. I agree with that. Dan Worley said no to Joe Flacco. We're gonna move forward with the next topic real quick.
Well, I'll put one thing on that with Flacco, as I call Flacco. No, he was not an elite quarterback. He may have started out great early in his career, but after that, he just fell apart. He is definitely not an elite quarterback.
Yeah, I agree. He definitely wasn't elite at all. He had that great playoff stretch. I think he played better in the playoffs to me than he did in the regular season for the most part. But nevertheless, here's another one right here. We're going to get to him real quick. I should call this the speed round. By the way, everybody that was tuned in to Spotify and to Anchor, thank you very much. We got an hour in on that. So really, really good. I want to shout out everybody who's tuned in right now on YouTube and on Facebook. Keep supporting. All right. Our next one is Russell Wilson would be the best quarterback if he was on the Chiefs, and Mahomes wouldn't be a top 3 if he was on Seattle. Do we believe that or nah?
So basically, we're asking, is that as they're composed right now? Because if you give Patrick Mahomes, DK Metcalf, and Lockett, I think I'd have to go with. It all depends on what you like. Do you think that Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce are better than DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett?
Oof.
I mean, that's basically what you're asking. Do you believe Clyde Edwards-Helaire is better than Chris Carson?
You got to also ask about that defense too. Well, then again, if this is an individual just quarterback situation, I don't agree with that. I think I honestly think Patrick Mahomes would be probably just as successful, actually. And then Seattle also has a better running game too. So if we're talking about Chris Carson being his running back, that's a little different than Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who's more of a utility back coming out the backfield. When you got a ground and pound type of guy like Chris Carson, who has shown you that he could put up over 1,000 yards. Actually, I think he put up like 1,300 one season. So,
yeah. John Suggs, he's saying Seahawks now or a few years ago. You give Patrick Mahomes that defense with the Legion of Boom and have Marshawn Lynch lined up behind him. And that offensive line, yeah, I believe Patrick, and that's not taking anything away from Russell Wilson, but that Legion of Boom defense is, I just talked about the 2000 Ravens, 85 Bears, 76 Steelers, that the no-fly zone Broncos. And that 2013 Seattle Seahawks with the Legion of Boom. I mean, you're talking about some of the greatest defenses that ever played. So yeah, I would. It depends on that, but I still believe if you gave Patrick Mahomes an elite running game like that to go along with DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, I think just fine. I think he'd be just fine.
All right, in the comment section, I need everybody to put in the comment section right now, is A.J. Brown over DK Metcalf? Mm-hmm.
I don't think so.
I need some premise.
That's splitting hairs right there. That's splitting hairs right there, man.
I need some premise.
Exactly.
Somebody give me some premise.
Do you like Reese's peanut butter ice cream, or do you like Rocky Road? You know, it's like which one you think is better? You know, that's kind of tough. You know, it's like, do you like steak or do you like lobster? You know, it's like, hey, what do you? Hey, you're winning. You're winning either way.
Okay, Joseph Anthony. What's going on, Joseph Anthony? Thank you for tuning in, by the way. Appreciate you. I see you new to the Monday Night Madness. Make sure you continue to support. We got sports talk all day, every day. All of our shows bring you real sports talk. All right. And real good topics, random topics too. Slobster. He says Slobster, Reese's. Joseph is hilarious in the comment section. Says Brown scores. Okay, so we got some stats here. Let's pull it up. John Suggs pulled up some stats. Said Brown scores 3.72 points per touch versus DK Metcalf's 3.21. Oh, interesting stat. Interesting stat there.
Which would you rather have, a Lamborghini or a Ferrari? Which is better? You know, it's just, hey, I gotta go. I mean, they were teammates, weren't they? They were teammates.
Yep.
They were teammates, but I still think that DK Metcalf is to wide receivers what Derrick Henry is to running backs. Is that fair?
No.
Is that a fair assessment?
No.
When you talk about just physical, physical,
yes. Okay, physical, yes.
Just the physicality, like how do you deal with a 6'4", 240-pound wide receiver with 4.3 speed? I mean, how do you deal with that? You know, we even saw DK Metcalf on the interception that Russell Wilson threw, and we saw DK basically Usain Bolt Buddha Baker. he Usain Bolt Buddha Baker. You know, so I mean, you got a guy at 240 pounds, damn near big enough to be a tight end, trying out for the Olympic team.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, DK Metcalf, to me, he's a unicorn. That dude is different, man. He's different.
Ooh, all right. Moving right along. Dalton, who you got? AJ? You got AJ Brown or DK Metcalf, sir?
Oh, that's a hard comparison right there. If I had to pick one, I'll say AJ Brown. Don't be wrong, DK Metcalf, he's good. The only thing is with DK Metcalf, like, he needs to work on the route running. Like we all can see with AJ Brown.
Okay. Great premise there. Great premise. Route running, super important. Definitely. I would think that DK Metcalf is a little bit better, but you are right. You are right. And John Suggs added something that's very interesting into the conversation. He said, okay, now switch quarterbacks and you would see Brown be way above. Ooh. Okay.
You know something? In response to that, what Mr. Suggs said, Justin Jefferson kind of said the same thing. He was kind of bragging on social media. Oh, you know, I did all this. He's like, dude, you're getting 12 targets a game. Give me 12 targets a game. I'm playing in a run first offense with Derrick Henry. You know, the system that you play in also has a lot to do with your success. You know, when you're getting a whole bunch of targets as compared to, you know, and it takes me back to when people used to say, you know, oh, Michael Irvin, look at his stats. I'm like, dude, he played on a run first team. So he's not gonna have the stats like Jerry Rice had, because Jerry Rice is getting, you know, 10, 12, 15 targets a game that matters. That matters as far as your stats. So, you know, I mean, I can see the argument, but I still believe that DK is a little bit more physically gifted. I believe that.
I will agree, only because Ryan Tannehill is not a deep ball thrower like that. So DK Metcalf does a lot of damage in the deep ball game, in which this is why I can't wait to see what he does with Julio Jones and AJ Brown. I'm waiting to see how that's going to be because they're already crowned in some places as the top duel in the NFL, which I think is a little crazy, but we'll see. Let's get to this real quick. This one might be a slobber knocker. Brady is one of the least talented quarterbacks of all time, but his IQ is above all. In parentheses, plus luckiest. Ooh. Ooh.
Well, again, I think it steps back to, you know, we just talked about eras that he played in. I don't believe that he, a lot of you know, and with the parentheses with luckiest, I believe that luckiest. I think that links up with era, because back in the 70s you could pummel a quarterback. A lot of Brady's success and his stats and things like that, a lot of Drew Brees' stats and success come with we're playing 20 plus years. When you play 20 years, you're going to have a lot of good stats. You're not going to play 20 years when you got Lawrence Taylor. Did everybody see what Lawrence Taylor did to Joe Theismann? What Lawrence Taylor did to Joe Montana? Some of the hits that he put on Joe Montana. I mean, what does Brady do exceptionally well? You know, you look at certain quarterbacks, their arm talent. You look at, you know, some of these young quarterbacks now, a Josh Allen, a Patrick Mahomes, their arm talent. They have elite arm talent. Matthew Stafford, elite arm talent. You look at Lamar Jackson, Michael Vick, as far as their mobility and stuff like that. You look at a guy like Ben Roethlisberger, big physical guy, Cam Newton, big physical guy that's hard to bring down. What does Tom Brady do like exceptional, physically exceptional? He's not that fast. He's not that. He doesn't have a rocket launcher arm. I mean, he's pretty accurate. But I mean, you can kind of make an argument as far as like physical gifts. He's not that physically gifted, but that's not his game. His game is a cerebral game. So, I mean, that's a fair observation to make. What do you think, caller? Caller, you still there? Dalton, what do you think? What do you think about Brady? You think what this slide is saying, that he's the least talented quarterback ever? What do you think?
Well, I agree with what you said.
Some might think that's insulting. I mean, he does have a lot of talent, but he also gets away, you know, with a lot of luck as well. So he's got the talent, but he also has a lot of calls that go, you know, his way. So he's got the luck and the talent, which I do find pretty much sickening. Because being I'm a Jet fan, and every time the Patriots won, it just made us look even worse.
Yeah. What do you think, Dalton?
Well, I agree with you though, but like if he would have played with the still current with the Steelers, like he's gonna get killed or the
Dalton, I can barely hear you on your mic. Can you step up your mic for me, please, and give me I want to hear what you got to say, but I can barely hear you. Go ahead, man.
Why is she not eligible?
You know what? I'm about to kill this bitch. I swear to God, I'm about to kill her.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead, Dalton.
I agree with you. What like you said though, like can you imagine if he was ever played with the still current the Steelers or the 85 Bears, like he would get slaughtered. Like he wouldn't play for like 20 years in NFL.
Yes, it's when you look at the talent, like I don't think he's that physically gifted. I just don't believe he's that physically gifted. But it's Dwayne Woodley saying Lucky, yes, he's very talented. I don't like Brady, but the brother is talented. I think with the Dwayne Woodley says Brady has an arm. Chill on the salt, bro. Hey, I don't have a dog in the fight. I still call Brady the GOAT quarterback. Dwayne says the least talented quarterback wouldn't have that many Super Bowls. We just talked about Super Bowls being the know all end all. Super Bowl title, stop it. And I don't like Tom Brady. And I give credit where credit's due. Having a bunch of championships is not the know all end all. You know who has a whole bunch of NBA championships? Robert Horry. Is he super talented? So you got to miss me with the it's just he wouldn't have that many Super Bowl titles if he wasn't talented. Robert Horry, do you consider Robert Horry a top 10 basketball player? Because he's got 7 NBA championships. So that kind of goes back to the argument and the debate that we had earlier about just championships being the know all end all of success. Give me that next topic, Dre.
Shit. Okay. I just want to say here's the next topic. I want to thank everybody for tuning in right now. Wow. Okay. With that being said, the next topic on the docket is obviously NBA, but Marcus, your thoughts on this NBA?
Do me a favor and enlarge that thing. It's really small. I can't see crap on that slide. Can you
okay.
Can you
sorry about that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let you know. We're gonna skip that one because it's too small.
That one
enlarging on this is a little tough right now. I'm using a laptop. I want to thank everybody again for being patient. Sorry for the brief interruption that you heard. Let's see here. All right. Let's read some of these comments real quick. Brady had a very good O-line protecting him to success. Imagine Andrew Luck had that line. He would still be playing today. Robert Horry
didn't carry his team though. In response to the Andrew Luck thing, you're right. His first couple of years he didn't, but I would dare say the way that the offensive line is constructed with Indianapolis now, I believe Indianapolis has a top 3 offensive line now. I believe he would still be winning, but he got beat up so much early in his career that he just wasn't able to, he was just beat up. He got ruined. So, it's I don't know. That's pretty tough. But as far as Brady, no one's taking. I don't think anybody's taking away. I don't think anybody's taking anything away from his talent. I'm just saying. Answer me. What does he do? What physical gift does he have that he does exceptionally well? He doesn't have a great arm. He's not that mobile. He's not that athletic. He's not. He just does. What does he do that you're just like, wow? When you see Lamar Jackson play, you're like, wow, his athleticism, his mobility. When you see Josh Allen throw the football, Matthew Stafford throw the football, Patrick Mahomes throw the football, you say, wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. You don't see that with Brady, but again, that's not his game. His game is a cerebral game.
Yeah. Facts, definite facts on that. That's what Dwayne Woodley said. You guys are definitely speaking facts again. Thank y'all all for being on. Dalton.
Yes, sir.
Your thoughts on Brady?
Well, which one? The one about the O-line or what?
Nah, I want to know. Do you think he's the least talented? I want to hear your thoughts on that.
No, he's not least talented. He's the biggest talent. So
okay, what makes Brady great to you? Just in your opinion.
He has the weapons around him. He had Randy Moss, Wes Walker, Troy Brown, David Givens, all those guys, Rob Gronkowski. If he would ever play the Steel Curtain and the 85 Bears, he'll take a beating. No, I mean he wouldn't play for 20 years.
What's he on year 20? What's he on year 22 now? He ain't playing from 75 to 95. He wouldn't have been playing from no 75 to 95. He wouldn't have been playing from no 85 to 2005. So, it's eras do matter. I'm a firm believer in the era that you play in has a lot to do with your success. I really do. And that's the, jumping over to basketball real quick. That's the argument that people use with LeBron James. If you put LeBron James against the bad boy Pistons, when the game was a whole lot more physical, how would Steph Curry do it? These are arguments that we can have until the end of time, but it's this is what makes sports debate very fun because, there is no definitive answer. It's all subjective. And that's why we enjoy doing this to talk about stuff like that. There is no definitive answer. There is no right or wrong answer. These are opinions. We make these opinions based off of things that we see. I think a lot of it's generational too. A lot of people's generational. Not to use ageism, but I asked my son who's the best basketball player, and he says, KD. You ask me the best basketball player I say MJ. You ask my dad, he says Dr. J. So, it's all depending on what you see, in your particular sport, the era that you grew up in and the time that you grew up in, what you actually witnessed, I asked my dad with boxing, I love Mike Tyson. My dad liked Ali. My son likes Anthony Joshua. So, this is all subjective, and that's what makes it so fun.
All right. It's up on the screen, LOL. Yep, absolutely. Because actually, I was going to get into a segment where I scroll down my timeline and find a couple things to talk about. We call it Scroll Troll Patrol. That's what was going to go on. But this is what's going to happen. I'll let you know right now. Monday Night Madness has just been on for about an hour and a half. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to end Monday Night Madness. We got probably 5 minutes left, so I'm going to let everybody get their final thoughts in. And tomorrow, get ready because Let's Talk About It should be on tomorrow at 8 p.m. Let's Talk About It should be on tomorrow. But if it's not, I got something for that. All right? I'm going to have a backup for it just in case if it's not on tomorrow. If we do not air that, we'll have a backup show tomorrow.
A contingency plan
for a contingency plan. Absolutely. So tomorrow we will do Scroll Troll Patrol, where you will see my Facebook up on the screen. That was just a preview interlude to what we're going to do tomorrow. Shout out to all the sports groups that support us. Man. Phenomenal job. And Wednesday, World Class Wednesdays will be on Wednesday. Marcus the Alphabets, Dalton D-Man Smith, myself, we should be on there. World Class Wednesdays coming up. You also have the Alphabets Football Talk Show on Fridays, 10 p.m. Make sure you support, tune into that. If you're on YouTube, make sure you support, tune into that. If you're on Facebook, make sure you support, tune into that. And with that being said, any last thoughts, Marcus and Dalton?
It's always great to come up here, talk a little bit of sports, and jump up in here and interact with the fans and stuff like that. We appreciate you. We couldn't do this without you. Thank you for always supporting the Rise Up family, and we're gonna try to keep bringing good sports information to you as fast as we get it. We're gonna put it out there for you. Thanks for the support.
All right, dark horses in college football this year: Oregon, Florida, UNC, Oklahoma. I don't know if those are dark horses. I don't think two of those teams are dark horses. Maybe Oregon again. I mean, is Marcus Mariota going back to Oregon, and is Mitchell Trubisky going back to UNC? Dalton, your thoughts?
Well, it's always fun to be on Money Madness. Shout out to Christine Neely for Let's Talk About It. Shout out to Josh Bailey for Stay Tuned. Shout out for Devon Stanfield for Sexus. And shout out to Marcus and Ramona for Alphabet Shows on Friday night. And shout out to Dre, Jeremiah, and Giandre for Jaw U Show.
And you, which Sunday we will have a Jaw U Show, by the way, coming up.
And be on the lookout for the Buffalo Bills early morning show on Sunday mornings with Ricky Hopkins and Marcy McDowell.
Listen. We are planning on bringing it back, man. I'm gonna have to get my keyboard for that, though. I'm gonna have to get my keyboard and plug in my real computer. This is just a laptop I'm using, y'all. So all this that y'all see, I'm doing off the lap. So and again, thank y'all for being supportive. Thank y'all for being patient and continue to support us. Dalton, man, we got some stuff to talk about on Jaw U, and this is gonna be a great week, hopefully. All right. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to Monday Night Madness. And again, if you don't know, now you know, we are definitely hitting y'all with the sports every day. Oh, wait a minute. Marcus, we was about to sit here and forget about the Alphabet's Bits. How are we going to forget about Alphabet's Bits in the Georgia?
No doubt about it. Make sure you do that. We're going to be putting some content out every day, like a 5 or 6 minute video of what's going on currently in the NFL. We're going to start that probably tomorrow. But jump it, if you're on Facebook, go to the Alphabet Show group page, and it'll be up on there, and we'll also be putting it up on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to the Alphabet Football Show on YouTube. We need to get them subscriptions up, and we're gonna bring that knowledge to you.
For sure. Y'all make sure you continue to tune in to Monday Night Madness. Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Good old time, man. Please subscribe. You see it down here in the ticketer. Subscribe to the Rise Up Family channel on YouTube. Rise Up Family page on Facebook. Absolutely. And if I had any advice for you guys, make sure you don't miss out on a whole hell of a lot of fun and excitement to watch He-Man. He-Man's a classic, but don't you miss out on no fun outside now. You COVID that was in the house for how long? Don't you miss out on no outdoor activities, but no He-Man.
Man. Get over here. What are you doing? I need you over here, man. I need you over here, man.
Right. Listen, Monday Night Madness, man. We love y'all to death. Keep it real. Y'all ain't seen this in a long time. I'm putting it back up again. All right. Love y'all. See y'all again.